I'm going to start doing these videos that are really just kind of um, like mindset talks, I guess you would say. Things that come up for me on a just weekly basis, or things that I've observed in my normal life, or things that I've struggled with. And something that I wanted to talk about today was discipline. As I've started observing my struggles that I'm having living out in like normal life again, and also working with some of my clients that I've been working with as far as like mindset coaching or detox or nutritional coaching, I wanted to do a video about discipline and talk about exactly how I look at discipline and what kind of keeps me on the right track to make good choices that are healthy for my mental, physical, just overall well-being. So something that I have kind of always thought, and definitely have adopted more so in the past year, is that these things that we struggle with, that we're like, oh, I'm not really self-disciplined, I know I shouldn't do this and this, but I do it, and I know that it's bad, and all of that. And I think that self-discipline is so much deeper than just not being disciplined or giving into cravings or having bad habits. I think that self-discipline is really actually about how much you love and honor yourself. I really don't think it's anything to do with the actual discipline piece. I think that I know that I started developing really amazing self-discipline when I started loving myself. All of these things that people struggle with, as far as like maybe having poor eating habits, maybe drinking too much, maybe thinking like, or not thinking negative thoughts, but maybe just being like an overall negative person, or maybe somebody who maybe is really unhappy in a relationship or really unhappy in a job, and just they can't find the discipline to leave or set boundaries. Like, I really think that setting or having self-discipline is all about self-love. And I think that the more that you begin to work on yourself, and the more that you make decisions that are for the betterment, I don't know if that's a word, make sure that you're making decisions that are like for the best of you, I think that you start developing more self-love, and you start developing more discipline. So for instance, there's certain things in my life that maybe I used to be interested in and participating in or consuming. Maybe that was like certain foods that I was eating. Maybe that was like drinking or smoking, or engaging in relationships that felt temporarily good, but then like they didn't long-term feel good. I just started to like make decisions about like, you know what, I'm going to be so disciplined, not because I want to restrict myself, not because I want to live this like rigid, not because I want to live like a strict life, and I don't want to have fun, and I don't want to have pleasures. It's not about restricting yourself, and it's not about removing pleasurable things from your life. It's about intentionally putting things in your life that make you feel good, not only right now, but also in the long term. And having self-discipline enough to know that I love myself so much that I don't want to participate in this temporary pleasure, which is normally some sort of a distraction, whether it be relationships, or whether it be food or partying or music or movies or stuff that just like doesn't fuel positive energy in your life. If you know that it's not going to make you feel long-term good to binge watch murder documentaries on Netflix for a week, like, why temporarily do something that we know is not long-term going to feel good? That's why I think self-discipline is actually an act of self-love. It is a way that you can say, hey, self, like, I love you, and I'm not going to choose this specific thing, even though I really feel like I need this distraction right now. I need this pleasure of this food, or having this intimate connection with somebody I know doesn't long-term gonna make me feel good. I mean, it's just, self-discipline is not about restriction. Self-discipline is about self-love. And that is why and how I've been able to maintain so many of the things that I've been implementing in my life. Most people would look at me and say, you have like your life is like without pleasure. You don't enjoy anything that gives pleasure. And or not even gives pleasure, but you don't enjoy anything that's just fun, free. You're very like calculated about how you live. And I actually don't feel like that at all. I feel like it's so easy to know at this point in my life, I know I'm so in tune with myself about what is going to feel good now and also long term, and what is just going to feel good in the next hour, 12 hours. I'm just so in tune with that. And so I look at my self-discipline, my intention with the way that I live as a form of self-love. And it's actually made me feel so much more free than I ever felt when I was just uncalculated, very free-flowing. I really think that where there is structure, you find freedom. You find freedom from suffering. You find freedom from having unexpected things pop up. It's just, life has just become so much more simpler when I found self-discipline. So I think that the moment that you realize that these things that you're craving, it's not really actually even you. It's just something that's in you that's needing a distraction. And that's why I always recommend to people that we need to be journaling, we need to be meditating, because journaling and meditating is not just so much about like some kind of woo-woo, like weird spiritual hippie shit. It's really about tapping into yourself, being able to connect with yourself, hear yourself fully, as opposed to, hey, I really, really think that I need to go have happy hour. Like I really, really, really need to go have happy hour right now. I've had a really horrible day. Like, okay, hey, let's take a second. I know in the past happy hours like made me feel hungover, made me spend way too much money, made me make bad decisions, call people I shouldn't have called. Like, hey, I know that decision has been bad in the past. Let me just take a moment and sit down and journal about it and see like, where is this coming from? And the moment we sit down and we're journaling about why I need to go to happy hour, we find out that we're going to happy hour because we had a bad day. We're going to happy hour because we need a distraction from what happened in our day today, or we need the distraction of like making human connection. We want to be around people. We want to fit in with people because everybody else is doing it. Someone invited you and you don't want to feel like a bad person, so you said that you would come even though you know last time you went it wasn't good. So when we sit down and journal or sit down and meditate and just sit with things for even 5 minutes, we're able to actually pick apart and figure out exactly why am I sucking myself into decisions over and over and over again that I know is not good for me? Is it me running for myself? Is it me trying to put on a show for somebody else or for the world around me? Or is it me distracting myself from something totally different? So I just wanted to make a video about my philosophy, my outlook on discipline, self-love, and freedom, because I actually think that I have found way more freedom in my structured life than I ever had with just doing whatever felt good in the moment. So I just wanted to share this little message. I am working with people right now. If you feel like you're somebody who's struggling with making positive choices or having a positive mindset or tapping into yourself, having like staying consistent, like if you need accountability with like making some of these things making some decisions that you know are going to be good for you, having that self-discipline. I have been working with people and from what the feedback I've been getting, it's been very, very helpful. There's little things that you can implement in your life that you don't need anything outside of yourself. You just need some tools. And luckily there are tools out there that are like free or very, very inexpensive, like a few dollars. And I'm definitely excited to be continuing my journey and also be supporting people through their journey as they find the capability to be able to tap into themselves and, you know, live a life that feels good long term and not just in the short term. So thank you guys so much for jumping on this video. I'll talk to you in the next.